Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. Every once in a while, people, mostly treasure hunters, viewers of the channel, subscribers, whatnot, will send me things I either find fun, interesting, or compelling, or some kind of combination of each, sometimes even funny, obviously. And this is the instance with this. If you remember back from my video about whether or not someone saw the cipher several months ago, that was a gentleman named Frank the Tank. And he sent me something that was interesting and also kind of similar to what he found with the cipher and how we got to that. And we're going to talk about that today. I am going to try my darndest not to say interesting as often as I do, but I'll probably fail with that one either way. What we're going to talk about today is what I've deemed for fun to be Project Oreo. And this is a GIF that Frank sent me. It's Indiana Jones, obviously, into the Oreos. I'm not really sure why the distortion or discoloration on my... Anyway, it is what it is. I think it's my monitor, perhaps. What I'm looking at my monitor as the green background with the black letters, but on the presentation here, it shows like a tealish background on the black letters. So I'm not really sure. Either way, we're gonna roll that. We'll get to why it's called Project Oreo in a bit. I think it's actually the next slide. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Meeting the creators of the hunt, obviously we know John Collins Black does their treasure inside. We're going to focus specifically on the Forrest Fenn box here. And then Justin Posey obviously does Bound the Map's Edge. And I know the question is always lingering about me and Justin Posey, or Justin Posey and I, to be correct. That will be covered on the last slide, so just stay tuned. But anyway, with little Oreos here. I thought the Justin Posey one was kind of funny because it resembles the tire in the Snake River with the story of the Grandpa Fitz. So I thought that was kind of funny. But what we're getting into today and why it's called Project Oreo for fun is specifically for not only JCB and the TTI Forrest Fenn box. That's the one we're going to focus on for him, as I mentioned a little bit ago. But also going to get into some Justin Posey and why he likes Oreos and treasure hunting as well. So if you remember back from the cipher solve that Frank the Tank submitted, something about rye, to be honest with you. I don't brown and rye or something. Anyway, he did something similar here. He takes the Forrest Fenn poem in this instance and he puts it out like he put it into Excel sheet and started looking at it. And I think it'd be interesting for some of y'all to actually talk to Frank in either the Discord or in the comments of this video and kind of see not only why he does the things that he does and how he comes to a conclusion and how he depicts what to do and why he's doing certain things, but just kind of to talk to the guy. He's a very interesting and intriguing, cool dude to talk to. He's very smart, very creative. And in my opinion, those are the types of people that can make significant improvements in their style of treasure hunting, but also in creativity and how they might come to things that a lot of people don't really see or even think about for the most part. And I think Frank, as I call him, Frank the Tank, is one of those individuals. So again, if you remember back to the cipher solve, he took a similar approach. He basically spreads the poem out, stanza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, as you see in the Forrest Fenn poem. And he counts up all the letters. The first stanza has 108 letters, second 113, third 112, fourth 107, fifth 106, and sixth stanza 111. And then he takes the more natural approach to pairing up the stanzas in the poem. It does 1 and 6, 2 and 5, and 3 and 4. And I'm not, again, this is probably where we need to talk to Frank and say, like, why did you want to do this in the first place? What were you thinking you might see? Or were you just kind of doing it to see if anything might show up? But regardless, he did that. And when he turned up all the individual stanzas, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, and 4, then reverse 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, you notice that every single stanza has 219 letters in the pairing, which is unique, right? Like, well, why would the pairings all have the same amount of letters? That seems too like low of a chance to be just by for the heck of it or just by chance, right? Maybe perhaps there's some intent there. So that's when he started to look. And when you split up the stanzas and the letters, you have 109 on the left, you have 109 on the right, and the center letter is 110 of 219 total. So we started to look at the center letters, or the letters in the middle of the stanzas after he lined them up as conveniently enough, JCB says in the past and future word search, line them up. So when he added up, not added up, when he put all the letters out there and got to the middle value of 110, he noticed that 1 and 6 is O, 2 and 5 is R, and 3 and 4 is OR. So a lot of people see OR and it kind of stands out to them because the letter values for OR is the same as gold is 38, and there's a lot of OR in Colorado and other places, obviously in the West, but I think that OR might be important because of one of the earlier Forrest Fenn videos I made where I thought white stains on the seed or white marks on the seed would be the iron reduction spots. And as they show typically after a while of weathering or some time in general, they show white. So I thought that was compelling enough to put in the video. And then Rio is interesting for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, a lot of people think, oh, Rio equals Rio Grande, and that's not wrong. You're right there. But Rio translates to a Spanish word, and it initially in the Spanish translation is for river. And then that's obviously where we get Rio Grande River. But if you go back to the Latin translation and the original context of the word, it actually is a stream. And that for the Forrest Fenn box, he mentions golden bending stream, and gold is an ore. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's something kind of pointing to that area of Colorado. I've also made another video, and I can't remember who at this point shared it with me, but I got the permission to share it at that time too. And I'm drawing a blank on who it was at this point. And either way, a golden stream or golden trout stream is a thing that's typically specific to Colorado. So when you put all these things together, and you're like, what? Well, the Rio Grande goes through Colorado, and Colorado is rich in ore, and maybe there is something here. Golden bending stream, gold stream, Rio means stream in its original context. So perhaps there is something there. Maybe that's a subtle nod to an area. And then going on down, you flip it back, as I said, and you go 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, and 3, and you do the same concept where you find the middle letter, and it's RIO, so OR and Rio. That's how we got there for that. Frank, let's see. He also mentioned trains carrying mining ore as something that he thought was intriguing for the area. I'm literally reading notes. There's also a rabbit hole for Justin Posey here, but that's irrelevant for the slide, so we won't get into it. But let's see. Yeah, I mentioned the Denver and Rio Grande locomotive. Number 80 was named Chico. Chico is also a 38 value for the word in terms of the letters. So there's a lot of 38s. There's a lot of interesting words and phrases that pop up. So that's what he thought about the OR and the Rio, which is for fun, Oreo. And that's why I wanted to call it Project Oreo. Let me scroll down a little bit. Again, I'm kind of reviewing some notes that him and I went back and forth on. All right, so now we're getting the next slide, and I have my notes in the correct spot for that. So, let's see. All right, so now we're getting to Justin Posey and Bound and Map's Edge. And again, talk to Frank and see why he just thinks about the things that he thinks about, and why he thinks that they might be interesting and compelling and useful. He's a very, very good dude to talk to, in my opinion. Let me let's see. There we go. All right, so this one's a little bit more complex, but Justin Posey is a little bit more complex. It's unique and fun because JCB is more into games. Justin Posey is obviously into games as well, but he puts a very intelligent and high level of intensity, in my opinion, to try to find some of these things, as we saw from not only the Decipher solve and how complex it was, but also the technical clue. That was a very difficult process to go through. But again, here we have another example of Oreo. And again, this one's a little bit tougher to describe and put together, but I'm going to do my best. So again, ask Frank why he chose to do the tender tornado. Sorry, none of mine was so difficult to say. I guess a bit of a tongue twister. But he takes the tender tornado and he looks at the last letters of each word, and sure enough, interesting enough, if you look at it backwards, ORE's back. And so we're looking at OR again. And the first 3 letters of the title for the chapter, the story, is obviously TTT. So you have TTT and ORE if you look at it backwards. as we see there in line 2. Line 3 here, notice the Morse code. And I don't know Morse code. I am taking Frank's word for it here. Frank's a smart and truthworthy and trustable dude. So I take his word for it when he gets into the Morse code. He knows that TTT, 3 T's become an O in Morse code. So you take ORE and then you take the TTT from the title of the Tinder Tornado, and there you go. Here's your Justin Posey and why he loves Oreos in terms of when he goes out to hunt for treasure. You have to maybe talk to K-Pro, Amy Seeks, and others who went with Justin, see if he's a big Oreo kind of dude. Maybe that's a question I'll ask him in an interview. But, you get another example of Oreo. So I don't know. Maybe they both just love Oreos. Maybe they say they haven't really talked to each other, but maybe perhaps they do. That, you know what? Let's put Oreos in both of our treasure hunts and see if these people can find it or not. Lo and behold, Frank found it. So congratulations, Frank. Thank you for this. I don't know. We kind of thought it was funny. We kind of thought it was interesting. So what are your next steps here? I have no idea. Maybe this was just comical to you. Maybe it was just funny to you. But perhaps you find some things in this that not only you get interested into why Frank looks at and thinks about the things that he does, but also like why is or and Rio in the Forrest Fenn poem? Why is it exactly 219 letters across the board when you parabolic stanzas in a certain way? Why is the middle number 110 in every single line of every single state of the values? Maybe those things are meant to be, and maybe that's one of the ways that John kind of hit things. You look at Justin, he mentions Morse code in the book. He talks about it. He's very good and intellectually sound in regards to hiding things in plain sight. And if you know what you're looking for and you look for it a certain way and you know Morse code, you get the Oreo value. So I don't know. Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing, but at least it was fun enough and interesting enough to make a video about. So that's kind of what we decided to do this one. Again, thank you, Frank the Tank. He wanted to mention, as usual for him, the secret server. If you guys are not in the secret server, I would recommend doing it. I'm not really that active in general in Discord at the moment, or at least for the last several months, but to my knowledge, there's over 500 people in the Discord. I want to say it's possibly the third, maybe the fourth largest Discord. I'm outside of Mysterious Writings, Treasure Hunt with Us, and then obviously Calazar's, the folks that have been around for a while. They have a lot of people in their servers, but secret server is a good server to my knowledge. And someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the secret server is specifically Beyond the Map's Edge. I'm looking at it now. I don't see anything for TTI. I don't even see like a voice chat for it, but I'm sure if you wanted to talk about TTI, and no one's gonna kick you out of the server as far as I'm aware. But as you see here at the bottom, I did speak with Justin Posey, I guess it was 2 weeks ago at this point, briefly in Discord chat, and he did kind of confirm that our video and interview will still be happening, and the next video interview he does will be with me, and then obviously in the Treasure Hunt with Us Discord, I believe yesterday, being Saturday the 8th at this point, he was in there chatting in the voice chat messaging area. And then someone asked him, like, when are you going to do the interview with Blake or something like that? And he said, yes, still going to do it. So as I've always said, he's asked me months ago at this point to just kind of sit back and wait and see when he has some time and flexibility to do that interview. Excuse me. And that's what I've decided to do. I've decided to do what he requested and just kind of sit back and wait and see when he can do this interview. One other thing to mention, if you're looking into Beyond the Map's Edge and think about going boots on the ground, please be aware of not only where you intend to go, but what's going on in that area. There's a lot of forest fires out west in general, speaking right now for the American West. Please, please, please be alert and aware of where you're going, the conditions you're going. You cannot really predict a large forest fire. You can't predict where it's going to go. The last time I saw some of the larger forest fires, they were literally 0% contained. So please think about where you're going and the likelihood or possibility of a forest fire or some kind of event occurring. If you're going out to a place that has a lot of bears or wildlife that might be dangerous, please just be aware of what you're doing and where you're going and be prepared for whatever might happen. But if you're planning to possibly go where some forest fires might be currently, maybe see if you can postpone that trip and kind of let nature take its course, so to speak, and see where things end up. Either way, that's really all I've got for the video. I'm just kind of blabbering on this point. Y'all will find out by the time this video goes. I have decided to take a break and not be a regular participant on the One Clue Short of a Treasure live stream that occurs every Sunday evening. My kids are back in school. Things have got really busy. My son's in karate, my daughter's in band, and I just kind of wanted that Sunday evening back because it's also the time to help like my wife get the kids to bed and get things ready for the next week of school, etc. So long story short, I just kind of wanted my Sunday night back and decided to step away as a permanent co-host, if you will, of the stream. I will likely join back in from time to time, but that's not going to be like a permanent thing for me to do it every Sunday night. So I don't know how often I'll join. But I did discuss it with Eric, and we're all good. I mean, no issues there. He welcomed me back to anytime I wanted to pop in as a guest, if you will. So I think Heather's planning to kind of continue to be a focal point and a regular participant on the stream. As far as I know, I think she's actually doing a stream tonight. I want to say it's actually at 9 o'clock. So I'm not sure if Eric's not streaming tonight because of the move, and she's doing the stream, and that time slot instead, or what the full details are there. But I'm checking. Finding treasure inside. Yeah, she's doing a live stream. Again, this will probably post and go live on the 10th, but she's doing a live stream on the 9th. So if y'all weren't able to see that live, please go back and watch it. Heather does a really good job with some solid content. So I would recommend just continue to watch the live stream with One Clue Short. Pay attention and watch his videos, as well as Heather's from Finding Treasure Inside, and be just involved with all the community. I know it's tough to watch the videos and a lot of videos, but take the time to watch them, like them, comment, subscribe, all those things. But thank you as always, everyone. Again, I blabbed on for like 5 minutes. I apologize. Y'all have a great rest of your week, and thanks as always. See ya.